Now, outside of the Rolex Submariner and the Tissot PRX, I think the AP Royal Oak is probably one of the most homaged watches from the Chinese brands. There have been many recently. This is the Pintime. Let's have a look at this one, see how this one fares under review. Good day to you all and welcome back to another BBW review. So as mentioned, this is the Pintime 1453 homage to the original AP Royal Oak. Now, one thing I should mention straight off the bat, which you'll probably notice, is it's a two-hander. Now, I checked the online reference to this. It is not in fact a two-hander. It should have a second hand, but when I received it, there was no second hand. Now, I should have been able to send this back, and I was able to, but I didn't because I actually like the fact that it's missing that second hand. I think it gives it the look that it may be an automatic, although it's not, but it just gives it that look. So I was able to send it back, but I didn't. So I hope that doesn't put you off too much. If you are interested in this, you should be able to get one with a second hand. I haven't, but I don't mind. So let's have a look at the basic specs of this thing. It pretty much follows the basic specs of the original AP in the dimensions. You have a 41mm across, so this is 42. The original AP I think is 41, so slightly bigger across the diameter there. The width across the lugs there. Now here you're going to get a 42mm, which then angles down for greater length here. Now I take the total measurement where the lugs finish and where it joins to your wrist, which is here. From here to here, this is actually 56mm. Now, 42mm is a bit big for my own liking, for my own 6.5 inch wrist. Now, with my lug width, I think the maximum I go to is a 50mm. This is a 56mm. So even the diameter of the dial being 42 is slightly too big for my 6.5 inch wrist. And at 56mm here, it just doesn't fit me. So straight off the bat, this is not going to be a suitable fit if you have a wrist the same size as mine. I think this is more suitable for something above a 7, 7.5 and upwards. The materials of this, I quite like the, it's quite a heavy watch. It's actually 136 grams. And I've removed, I believe, if I remember, about 3 links. And at 3 links removed, it's 136 grams. It's quite a sturdy, hefty feel. The material is going to be, of course, alloy, but it has a brushed effect on the sides of the case there, and brushed until you get to the bottom of the bezel, which is polished, and then back to a vertical brushing on the top of the bezel here. And the material is, of course, alloy. But it's quite a nice brushing effect, and it does match the rest of the watch and the bracelet. The lug width is not, although this isn't integrated, the lug width is 30mm that narrows down at the clasp to 22mm. The crown is a basic 5mm. Now, one of the things that differs from other homage watches is the crown. I've noticed that other brands, they will use a hexagonal crown to match the dial there, so to match the bezel there. This, they've just used a bog standard plain dial. So a few points of Pintime there for not using a hexagonal dial, which, as I said, other brands do use. They've used these fake screws, which I can't make up my mind if they're out of a line or not. to my eyes, they're a bit out of a line, but maybe that's just my eyes. The glass is just a basic mineral crystal, but quite a nice representation of the original AP, apart from that crown. The depth is 12 millimeters, and as I mentioned, the lug length, if you call it lug length, from here to here is 56 millimeters. So looking at the dial in detail, the dial is a waffle style dial, it's blue. This is available from Pintime, I think blue, white and black. I chose the blue because I like blue. You have applied indices all around at the 5 minutes and a tiny indented date there, which is small enough not to be really noticeable. And if you watched my other reviews, I don't like dates. I don't like the fact they're not symmetrical with the rest of the watch. The hands they follow the AP design, just these stick hands. No second hand, which I've already mentioned. The indices themselves are loomed, but you're going to get a $12 loom, which is almost nothing. And outside, or sorry, in between those indices, you're going to get printed or painted minute markers. So it does follow the style of the original AP quite well, apart from that second hand, of course. Even the bezel is very similar, and with the brushing on the case, also very similar to the original AP. As mentioned again, the only thing that I think the mistake they make is they should have really tried to find a hexagonal bezel, which other brands have used. But apart from that, I think it does look quite nice. Below the 12, let's move that out of the way, you have the Pintime name, which is, it is printed, but it's blazoned across a raised plate there. And below that, or above the 6, you have the word Quartz, which is printed there. So that's basically it for the face. Let's go on quickly onto the movement. Now, it's quite a floppy movement, as you can see. There's not much resistance at all in the movement of the hands, minutes and the hour hands. Let's position this over the 12 to see the minute hand jump, if there is one. So, yeah, there's so much, there's so little resistance in that. So 1, 2, 3, and it moves. Let's try one finger now. Position it over the 12. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, and a jump. And both finger and thumb now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it jumps back or forward. So it's not going to be a particularly good movement, and I can tell before by the lack of resistance in that. It's so floppy. But it does keep pretty good time despite that. Let's have a look at the back of this thing now. Now, in my haste to check the innards of this watch, I put the back cover on not so straight, as you can see, but I don't want to uncover it and press it back on, because these are such a pain to press on tightly again, so I just left it like that. It's on the back of the watch. It doesn't matter, no one's going to see it. So the details you get on the back are the name, or the brand name, Pintime, stainless steel back, and it certainly is. It's quite a hefty back, which is also in that brushed pattern with those fake screws all around. I'm not sure if the original AP has those fake screws. I'll have to check that. The other details are water resistant. It doesn't say to how much, but I'm guessing it's going to be standard 30 meters. The designation is the 1453, and the last detail is PRC. It's made in China. What a surprise, as all my watches seem to be. So the back, as you can see, it's quite a sturdy back cover. It feels nice and sturdy. It doesn't give that horrible, let me check. Most cheap watches give that really nasty hollow sound. This doesn't, so it's a much sturdier, thicker back cover. Brushed on the top, polished on the sides, which is a nice effect that mirrors the front. Brushed on the top, polished on the side. So you do get a symmetrical styling there. Polished and then brushed, which is quite nice there. But that's as nice as a back cover is going to get. So moving on to the strap, as is the original Royal Oak, this is integrated. Again, 30 millimeters, where it joins the rest of the case there, and tapering down to a 22 millimeters. Again, I'm not quite sure what the original AP is, but I'm guessing it's going to be pretty close to the original. The bracelet itself does copy the same design. The styling is kind of half brushed, half matte there. Half brushed, half polished, sorry. Although it does match quite well with the rest of the case. And I really do like that case. This is one of my favourite watches, I should say the original, from AP. It's just a really nice classic design that has been repeated for the last 50 years or so. And this Pintime does do a good representation of it. It's quite a nice case, and I do like the heft at 136 grams. It is a nice looking watch indeed. The original, I should say. This is not too bad. But onto the strap again. There's quite a nice bit of articulation there. Let's try the other one there. The articulation is actually okay. They're all single links, they're all quite hollow, but there's not much play in it, so it's going to feel quite sturdy on the wrist. They're all push pins for the bracelet adjustment, but they are hollow. And where it does join with that case is you're going to get a protrusion, which is going to make it just too big for me to wear. And if you have a 6.5 inch wrist, it will be also probably too big for you. Where it joins with the bracelet, where it joins with the clasp, you have the butterfly clasp. Like the original AP, you have to put it down or connect it in this order, with the right one and then the left one, where the original has the AP emblem or logo etched into that. If you try it the other way, obviously it's not going to work. So they do copy that design there. So right first, then the left. So a nice touch there. Quite a nice bracelet. I wish it was not hollow, but as I said, the articulation is quite good. Not there so much there. Let's have a look at that side there. It does feel a bit jingly jangly, and it does sound that much as well. But I do like that heft, 136 grams. Now let's have a look at this thing on the wrist. And there she blows, the Pintime 1453 homage to the AP Royal Oak. Quite a nice wrist roll. The light does bounce off that bracelet quite nice. I mean, it really does. It really is a nice looking watch. And this homage is quite a good representation of that. So this is again, it's a 42 inch diameter across the dial there. But what makes it kind of unwearable for me is when you see the profile. There, that's that 56 millimeter length there. Now, as in all these watches, on the right side of my wrist is fine, but you're going to get, blocking the camera there, you're going to get that gap on the left side, and you do obviously get an overhang. But for some people that might be okay. For me, I don't like overhangs at all. It just makes my wrist look even slimmer than it is. So having a watch that is oversized is just going to make your wrist look too small. But considering I'm more suited to a 50 millimeter lug length, It's not too bad, but I just don't like that profile. That's like that side profile there. But apart from that, it's a bit of a shame Pintime didn't make this in possibly a 37mm dial. But there you go, I bought the 42. So keep that in mind, that this watch is completely dependent on your wrist size. Ideally, 7 inches or 7.5 inches would be much better. So this has been the Pintime 1453 homage to the AP Royal Oak. Now, I should be able to recommend this, especially at $12. But when I compare it with other brands I've seen on the market, other homage brands, I can't really. It's missing some things that other homage brands do offer. So, although it's quite a decent watch for $12, with comparison to other brands, I can't really compare it. Sorry, I can't really recommend it. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again with another watch on the green chair. Until then, as always, take it easy.